them. It depends on which tariqat you're talking about. Some tariqat, they are not even concentrating on Holy Prophet ﷺ. They concentrate on Allah. Yes?
Yes.
Just say Allah, 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 Allah. Prophet, a little bit here and there. Some tariqats, they concentrate on only their peer, the peer of that tariqat, whether it is Ghawsul Azam or others. Concentrating only that. Prophet, a little bit, Allah, a little bit. Yes? Some tariqats, they are concentrating on their shaykh. Some tariqats, they're concentrating on their shaykhs because that shaykh is teaching them about the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet is teaching you about Allah. So there is a protocol, there is a reason why you love. There's a reason why, who you love, when you love. There's an old saying, be careful when you meet a friend of Allah, because he will take away your religion. The meaning of that is, when you meet a friend of Allah, what is a friend of Allah? The one who knows Allah and Allah knows him. The one who is beloved to Allah. And there are different kinds of friends of Allah. There are friends of Allah that are hidden and some that are shown. There are some friends of Allah, they're higher maqam than others. There are some friends of Allah who are not shaykhs, and some they are shaykhs. As it is according to the maqams of the prophets. There are some prophets, they are ulul azam. There are some prophets that they cannot even convince one person behind, one person in their ummah to follow them. And there are some prophets only for their families, for their communities, some for bigger communities, and some for the Holy Prophet ﷺ. That one is Sultan al-Awliya. That one is completely different. And so, you have an idea about Allah, you have an idea about the Prophet ﷺ. You may even say that you have belief. You even have emotional attachment to them. In our way, let me speak from what I have experienced with my shaykh, in our way. Others, they may have different ways of explaining this. And so, it boils down to why you want to enter into tariqat, why you want to follow a shaykh, why you want to become a mu'min, a believer, why you want to become a servant to Allah. It is according to that. That is the foundation. Some, they worship Allah just to get to paradise. Yes? Not some, many, they're worshipping Allah just so that they can get to paradise. Some, there are many, they are worshipping so that they have more sawab, more sawab, more sawab, higher stations in paradise. Some, they are worshipping Allah because they are fearing, if they don't worship, they're going to get punished. I better worship. Why are you worshiping? I really don't like to worship. Then why are you doing it? Later I'm going to get punished. So if Allah is not putting punishment, they're going to run away. These days, Allah is not really openly sending azab, not open. It is hidden, the azab. So people are thinking, well, I can do wrong things. Look at all these kafirs. They're doing all so many wrong things. They're not getting any azab, any punishment from Allah. I can do the same thing too. Why not? Times have changed. Wrong. Some, they're entering into tariqat because they read so much philosophy of tasawwuf and Sufism. They get lost in that. So they want to experience that. Experience what? The philosophy. There is no philosophy in Islam. Some, they are following the shaykhs, they are following tariqat. They want to follow the saints because they want to be saints. They want to be holy. They want to witness karamat and to make karamats. Some for worldly reasons. Worldly reasons. They say, if I take bayat from this one will pray and everything will come true. So they enter into. So why do you want to enter into a tasawwuf, into tariqat? Why do you want to follow a shaykh? What is our shaykh saying? He's saying, if you want to learn how to become a servant to Allah, that you are looking to please Allah, not your ego, not yourself, not your parents, not your people. You want to please Allah. And you want to please Allah the best way, in reality the only way, through the way of the Prophet ﷺ. You cannot please Allah through any other way. Not complete. When something is not complete, and this is foundation, when the foundation is not complete, it will topple down. If you want to become a servant to Allah, learn how to serve Allah and make Him happy, make the Prophet ﷺ happy. By doing what? By doing what? The reason of our creation is to know Allah and to worship Allah. That is the reason of our creation. To know Allah and to worship Allah, you must serve. This has to be priority. Not, I want to serve. Yeah. I talk to this like to people. I say, you're coming here, you want to, but we have to be servants to Allah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that too. Like an afterthought. It cannot be. It must not be. If your aim is to become a servant to Allah, to know Allah, and to worship Him, knowing that if you don't know Allah, you cannot worship Him, then the first step that you have to make is to know yourself. And to know yourself, you have to know what separates you from Allah and to remove those separations. This, number one, is the ego. If you don't know your ego, you cannot take any step towards Allah. None. No matter what lights you see, no matter what maqams you attain, no matter what creatures you talk with, does not matter. It has fooled millions of people like that. Millions. It has fooled them. It has fooled those ones who are following prophets. So it comes back to the ego. How you are now going to declare war on your ego. And whose method are you going to use? This is 1400 years unbroken chain of the holy, most distinguished Nakshibendi order. We are taking our ijazat from the Holy Prophet ﷺ through Sultanul Awliya and Sahibul Saif, and we are sharing it to the whole world. Does it matter to us if one person follow or a billion people follow? It does not matter to us, because our work still continues with ourselves to fight against our own ego and to take those teachings and to use them. So now, we have to know ourselves. Once you start concentrating on yourself, not how close you are to Allah, not how close you are to the Prophet. You understand? Allah said to us, not how close you are, but what separates you. Then that time your emotional, let's say, attachment to Allah and His Prophet, to the awliya Allah, before you follow our way, you have to say, that is good for that level. That level, just to feel something, it is good. Just like you fall in love, I love you. Every time I love you, I miss you. Okay, get married. Then what happens? Then suddenly you have to carry responsibilities. Then you have to deal with the reality sets in. So let me just put it like that. In this way, once you follow Shah Effendi, once you follow this way, Sultan al-Awliya, it is like you get married. So now, no more too much romance. No more romance so much. No more I miss you, I love you. Now take out the trash. You love, pick up after your own crap. Can we say that? We can say. Now pay the bills. Now take care. Now be more patient with each other. So now you carry responsibilities. So what happened before tariqat, before following a sheikh now? You have an idea, but that idea is just an emotion, which an emotion is good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, but it lacks, let's say, reality. It lacks reality. Now you're following a sheikh. Okay, you love the Prophet ﷺ so much? Yes. Then why are you not praying sunnat prayers? You love him so much, huh? Yeah. Then why are you ashamed to go out with a turban to walk the streets? Oh, Ya Rasulallah. You're crying so much. It's good to a certain level. Then why you are not being more tolerant and patient to people instead of being angry and stubborn? Why are you backbiting? Why are you breaking your promise? Why you easily get angry and easily get anxious? So it changes. As Imam Rabbani is saying, this way, it is the way of the Sahaba Kiram. Are we saying that we are? Hasha. No. Are we saying we're anywhere close to them? No, we're not. But we see the way, and we see how we must try to walk the way like this or like that. So many, they love. They look at the Shaykh, and they love the Shaykh first time. 1 time, 2 times, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year, 2 years. Then the Shaykh starts testing them, not even testing them, showing them themselves, not testing them. Showing them themselves, you have this quality, you have this quality, you have this quality. Immediately they rise up and they break every promise and they get very angry, very upset. Or the Shaykh is going to show a different face. Say, okay, you say you love me. You say, okay, whatever you say is on top of my head. You kiss the hand, you kiss the feet. You think we are impressed by this? We're not. And later, the Shaykh is showing a different side. They say, how it can be a Shaykh if it's like this? So, how do you make, in our way, how do you make that love to be more sincere? The love of what? To Allah and His Prophet ﷺ. You want to make it more sincere. Carry the hardships. Carry the hardships that you're going through in your life, and carry it with the way that the Prophet ﷺ wants you to carry it. And make the connection now. As you are going through hardships, he went through more. Same, but more. The prophets went through, the Sahaba Kiram went through. Same, but more. Now, you love, you have to carry the hardship. As the Prophet ﷺ says to that man who says, Ya Rasulullah, I love you. And he turned to the man and he says, then prepare yourself for hardship. So many times, hardship is what? Hardship is other people. It's nothing else but other people. Having to endure other people. That is one. And on the other is learning how to submit your will to your guide. So it's two. Both is a submission. Both is putting your ego down and helping others. Putting your ego down and helping others. And the other is putting your ego down and to submit to your guide. This is what the Sahaba Kiram, they did until they passed from this world. They had full submission, as Allah is saying, obey Allah, obey the Prophet, and obey your rightly guided leader. They obeyed and they sacrificed and they submit to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And those ones that the Prophet appointed to be in charge of them during his time or after. And they were killing themselves to help the others and to bring down injustice and to bring up truth. So what is your love? Is it a childish love? Is it a honeymoon love? It will pass. It will pass. It must pass. If you say, I only want that love, then you didn't grow up to. You are retarded. Can we use that word these days? In the original word, that you're not growing and you're stuck. Because you only want that flush of romance. Then you're fake, because Sahabe Kiram did not stop there. And so many saints, they're saying, watch out for this too. Watch out for this. This is also a trick. Because as our Shaykh says, in reality, you look at the Shaykh, you start falling in love with the Shaykh, but it is because of the love that the Shaykh puts in you. So what happens when there is no love then? Or your idea of what love is? You're going to quit, knowing that there is a truth, and Allah is warning the believers over and over again. You're going to quit, now that you know what the truth is. The purpose of the guide of the Shaykh is to tell you where you are going wrong, is to warn you and to say you are getting tricked by your ego and your shaitan. Watch out. The aim, the purpose and the job of the Shaykh is not just to sit there and to grant you wishes. That is one side of him, and that's not so important. It's not so important. Because if you are serving Allah and His Prophet, and you're serving the beloved ones, whatever you need, it will come. Either the Shaykh is going to say openly or not. Whether you say openly or not. So now, Allahu Akbar. Muslims have become like Christians. Oh Allah, Allah Chum. My beloved Allah. Allah woke me up today. I speak to Allah, my Allah, this my Allah, that. Allahu Akbar. Which Allah? That one that Hazrat Musa wanted to see, and Allah just sent His angels and he passed out from this world. That Allah. That Allah that the Holy Prophet ﷺ, to go on the night of Mi'raj, he was almost begging Hazrat Jibreel not to leave him. Now he's going to be alone with this Allah. That Allah is your idol. The greatness of Allah. How are you going to know the greatness of Allah? If you treat the Prophet also, ﷺ, as just, as some people are saying, just as my dad, he's going to come to you. You see, in the old days when there is strict Shariat and there's a lot of fear and respect of Allah and Islam, then you need that to balance it. Now there is no respect. That so much of love to the Prophet ﷺ that you are demoting him, putting him down, that has to be balanced a little bit. Because a lot of people now, because of Rahmatal lil Alameen, they are willing to make fatwa saying everyone is forgiven. Everyone can go to paradise. Yani, if you say that in a time when everyone is showing strict Shariat, for a different reason, when there are unbelievers there to melt their hearts to Islam, there's something else. You are living in the time of Dajjal. This is what Dajjal is going to say. He's going to come and he's going to say, free pass for all. Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam is going to bring the Shariat of the Prophet alayhi salam. So now, the greatness of the Prophet alayhi salam. Are we familiar with that? No. Because too much mawlid. Too much. Too much mawlid and too much singing. Too much. until it becomes, if that is real, it has to come with shame. It has to come with shame. Because if you love the Prophet ﷺ so much, it has to come with shame, because the Prophet ﷺ is crying for his ummah, but you're only crying for yourself and your family. No one else. You're not crying for the ummah. You're not trying to bring Islam. You're not trying to put his flag up high. You're just concerned with eating and drinking and your own comfort and your own happiness. We've lost the mission of Islam. They say they love Prophet ﷺ so much that they even tell people, look, don't get upset when they curse at the Prophet. Don't. You must be nice and calm and easy. We live in a time when there is so much extremes. On the one extreme, they say, don't worry about it. On the other extreme, they say, we must burn down the whole world. Both. It is wrong. There is no balance. Without a Khalifa, there is no balance. There is no head. Everyone is running around like a headless chicken. So we're here to put some sense back into ourselves. My aim, my purpose, as I said before, in being with Shaykh Effendi, is to clean myself. Because I found myself filled with so much disobedience and dirtiness, and I said, I have to be with him. He will teach me how to clean. There was nothing else. There was nothing else. So, I didn't enter to say I want to love Allah more, or I want to love the Prophet more. Who are we to say we love Allah? Who are we to say we love the Prophet ﷺ? Who are we? We're going to be tested. Your love has to have a measure. It has to have a criterion. It must have a qaida. Can we use that word these days? It must have a criterion. Number one, saying you love. But the last one, to carry his sunnats outside and inside. Cannot be. Should not be. That's not the reason. So here in this Jamaat, it changes, it is flexible. We're living in a Jamaat, we're living now. This is not 20 guys in the Dergah. This is now so many families and children. So now our fight with our ego and putting the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ has to be according to what the time is right now, without changing the usul, without changing the roots of it. And our Shaykh, in all his majesty, in all his wisdom, is saying, yes, there is a sunnah, but we are only, the sheikhs are only going to tell you what to carry, when you can carry, what you can carry. Not as you like. You want to, they say, no, not yet. Just do this, and do this. So much of the foundation has to be restored first before you can build anything on it. So like that, then you're going to see, it's not about how much I love too. Then you are going to say, these words that I say, I love you, this is the words of a hypocrite. How many saints they have written about that? Then you're just going to say, how am I living my life today? How much I'm thinking about you? How much I'm trying to put you in my life? How much that my ego wants to do something, but for your sake, Ya Rasulullah, oh my guide, I stop my ego from doing it for your sake. That you can answer for yourself. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. This much is enough. Any other question? You understand? We're not here also in this tariqat so that we can be holy. Yeah? Ask any one of us, do you consider yourself holy? They'll laugh at you. We're not here to be holy, to be religious. We're not. We're just trying to fulfill some obligations that fits to the honor. We're not worshipping to get sawab. We're doing things to make Allah and His Prophet happy with us. That's completely different. Because to make them happy now, As Shaykh Effendi is saying, you don't know what's going to make Allah happy that day. Whether it's a big action or it's a small action. Now, this is spirituality. When you look to your heart, when you understand your heart, when you understand whether you're a hypocrite or not, what are the signs of hypocrisy? What are the signs of kufr? What are the signs of belief? What are the signs of sincerity? Then that time a small action that you do with full sincerity and full love is better than big actions that you are doing, that you're just doing for show. May Allah accept our service, inshallah. We don't know. We're asking Him through the intercession of our Shaykh and our Prophet ﷺ to show us the mercy and the forgiveness, and to give us more power and more strength to run in this way. But this is the point, running in this way. I'm looking, for example. We are praying, okay, I'm saying so many times, we pray, let the kids to run around a little bit, but I say, but don't let them to go to extreme. Yes? I've said that so many times. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. Some kids are screaming. They let them go. Okay. I kind of understand also the mothers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids they have running around everywhere. It's hard for them. So this is something they say, those ones who don't have, or those ones who are more free, why they're not there helping? Why? They used to, but then they stopped. What happened? You understand? So which one? Let me ask you, Mustafa. When Shaykh Effendi is giving sohbat, am I sitting right in front and listening to him, or am I making sure that tea is coming out on time? People are not spending too much time in the bathroom, that they're coming here. Make sure there are always people here. So what is your aim now? So many people, they come from the shaykh to please themselves. What I can take, more barakat, more secrets. Then there are some who are saying, okay, Yani, whatever that is necessary, the shaykh is going to give you here or 1,000 miles away. What can I do to please my shaykh? To please Allah and His Prophet? What can I do to make it better? Then that time, then you start paying attention to your shaykh, your Prophet, and your Allah, to see what is making them tick. Then you understand, okay, he would like this, he would like this, he would like this. Without him saying, then your heart will start moving. They used to be upstairs, making sure that everything is, because there is a connection. But sometimes the world fools them. The connection is cut off 1 month, 2 months. You know, like when you don't pay the bill, they cut off the connection, like that. So many they're like that, so many they're not realizing it. We are not sitting here and we don't eat praise from people, and we don't eat criticism from people too. We don't care. Whether you say, oh, I love you, you are my life, I cannot move, I cannot breathe. You think it does anything. In fact, you say more you are going to be responsible. We're not asking you to say, we're asking you to help us. No, we can learn how to shut everything off and do things too. It is for others. Now, Sahabi Kiram, were they running around just to please the Prophet? No. They were understanding what the Prophet's mission was. What makes him happy, what makes him sad, what he wants to do, what his objectives are. They're not just coming, sitting, oh yeah, make zikr, listen sohbat, and then going, being busy with their lives. So now your love, that person that you love has to overtake everything. No, it only overtakes you 5 minutes in 1 week that you cry crazy, and then after that you completely forget. You live your own nice life. No, that's not what our Shaykh is teaching us. We make the Prophet's life central. We make our Shaykh's life central. As much as we can carry, and that we know. Sitting in sohbat, we know how much we can take, how much we cannot take. We don't take more than is necessary. And it's not about worship. It's not about worship. Yes? It's not about worship at all. So, they're concerned about their own happiness and their family's happiness, but they lost connection to their guide. You may get it. You may get that happiness, but there is no connection. And they are not cruel, our masters. They say, you really want it? Have it. You see, Holy Prophet ﷺ knows what Ibn Salama was going to do too. He knows. But he also knows that the more he says to Ibn Salama, the more he's going to be in hell. Ibn Salama was a fakir. He had no family, he had no friends, he had no property, he had nothing, but he was living in the Prophet's mosque and he was cleaning it and he was serving the Prophet ﷺ every day. And one day, he said, Ya Rasulullah, please pray that I become rich. Why is that? Ya Ibn Salama, I want to help others. Prophet ﷺ delay him, giving an answer, delay. He kept pushing and pushing. And Prophet ﷺ is saying, as a way of like not saying too much, but saying everything. Don't you want to be poor like your Prophet? Oh, talking, explaining. Like so many. They have so much explanation they have to do. I said, okay. Prophet prayed. He became rich. Now instead of staying in the jami, in the masjid, every day, he would come only once a week because he has business to attend. This is for someone that the Prophet, it is clear that the Prophet ﷺ did not want it for him because it doesn't fit him. He cannot carry it. There are others who are very rich. There were others who were very wealthy that they were serving and they were doing other things too. It was for them. This is now the thing. What is for you? Or are you just looking and not understanding how the shaykh is looking, but you only want what you want because you're not looking how the shaykh is looking. So you start being envious of one another, being jealous of one another. What that one has, I want to have. So he was coming once a week instead of every day. Then he was coming only for Fajr time once a week. Then he was coming only for once a month. The wealth that he had kept expanding and expanding and expanding until the time came when the order for zakat was given and the Prophet ﷺ sent Sahabis to go to collect. And the Sahabi Kiram, they went to Ibn Salama, they say zakat now. This is something that is order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take. It's not for him, the wealth, because he doesn't know what to do with it. It tricks him. They said, there's another Sahabi over there, he has a lot of sheep too, go to him first. I'll give you an answer when you come back. The Sahabis looked at each other, looked at him, they were shocked. This is the one who used to clean the Prophet's mosque, alayhi salatu wasalam. They went there. That Sahabi wants to be in the jami, wants to be in the masjid, serving, wants to be a fakir, but the Prophet says, go out and earn and help. That Sahabi, when those two Sahabis coming to collect for zakat, the Sahabi says, everything is for the Prophet. They said, no, the order is very strict. Out of every 40 is one. Then take the best. He says, no, it's not the best too. It's just one out of every 40. Take. So he took, they came back to Ibn Salama. Ibn Salama, they said to him, we have to give an answer to the Prophet ﷺ now. This is the order. Allah is giving this order. Ibn Salama turned to them and said, Is Muhammad asking for a bribe now? The Sahabis, they were very shocked. They didn't say anything. They just went back. And when they were coming back to Medina, and the Prophet ﷺ was seeing them from a far away coming, those two Sahabis with the zakat that they collected, he saw them coming, he already knew. So he shook his head and he said, "Oh, Ibn Salama, you lost, and you lost, and you lost." 3 times. Every time there is a reason. He lost his title as a Sahabi. He lost in this dunya, there's no barakat. And he lost in Akhirat. Because after, in the time of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu an, he woke up a little bit. He wanted to give zakat. Abu Bakr Siddiq refused. He refused. Then during the time of Hazrat Umar, he wanted to give the zakat. And Hazrat Umar said, "If you ask me one more time, I will cut your neck off." You didn't give it during the time of the Prophet, and you, Abu Bakr Siddiq refused it, and you're trying to give it to me? So there are certain things for certain people. Who are we to know what is best for us? This is why we have a guide. But people want to follow sheikhs just because they are wishing wells. That's all. I want this, and I want this, and I want this. That's all. Which is not bad, but it's not that great either. It's not that great. Be careful, because that kind of a faith is not going to save you also. That kind of a faith is very weak. Then one day you see the sheikh in another light, another this, or somebody is going to say, you're going to disbelieve. And then once you start cursing at a friend of Allah, or once you start to go back against your bayat, good luck to you. I'm not the one saying this. I say good luck to you. So, may Allah keep our bayat strong, inshallah, and for us to wake up. The purpose of a shaykh is to say when you mess up. In our way, it is not to praise you when you do something well. It's not to praise you. You must know as an adult when you mess up and when you do well. You don't need anyone to tell you. It has to come to the point that when you're doing something and somebody says, the shaykh says like this, oh yeah, of course, I didn't see that. Yes, I can make it better. Instead of being upset and angry or hurt or being rebellious. And don't sleep. And don't be stubborn. Don't be in ghaflat. Because whatever you have gained, you may lose in a split second. And especially the work that is in front of you that you are doing. That may be the only thing that is acceptable in the eyes of Allah. You understand? That might be the only thing. That you can safely say, I did this one properly and well. You cannot say if your salat, you can do it 100% or not. You can never say that. You cannot talk about forget about your shahadat. You're saying you witness Allah. You bear witness of Allah and the Prophet. What are you witnessing? We only witness our ego. All the things that we're doing, we don't know whether it's acceptable or not. But if that work is given to you, even if it's cleaning the bathroom, even if you're really bad at it, it's an easy thing to learn and to get better and better. And the work that the shaykh gives in running a dergah, it is not more than you can carry. No. Not in our way, especially. Nope, never. The shaykh doesn't give you a work. He is looking to see, then you start shining in these different areas, then you say, okay, try this. Or that one say, I want to do this, according to their own natural capacity. If the Ottoman schools, we say we don't teach a bird how to swim or a fish how to fly, then the Ottoman Dergah, definitely. They don't give you something that is against your nature and something that you're not going to be able to carry. But they will only give you something if you step forward too. If you decide not to step forward, 10 years, 20 years, you just sit in the back, they say they're not interested. They're good, they're not bad people, they're coming, but they're not interested. That's okay also, but it's not that great. So, may Allah forgive me and bless you. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Amen.